At 2:47 a.m., I killed the power to the entire prison block. I had exactly 60 seconds, but I wasn't escaping to run. I was escaping because I'd just learned my sisters murdered our parents, framed me for it, and threatened to kill my wife and children if anyone ever discovered the truth. And I had proof. My name is Sterling Whitmore, and for 13 years, I rotted in a maximum security prison for a crime I didn't commit. Life without parole, no appeals left, no hope. Until a dying man sent me a letter that changed everything. But I'm getting ahead of myself. You need to understand how perfect their plan was. How two sisters could murder their own parents, steal a $40 million fortune, and destroy their brother's life, and get away with it for over a decade. You need to understand what I was before they took everything. I was the youngest of three. Old New England money. The kind of family where appearances matter more than truth. Caroline and Victoria were older 8 and 6 years ahead of me. Brilliant, calculated, always 2 steps ahead. Our parents controlled generational wealth, real estate empires, investment portfolios that went back to the 1800s, $40 million in trusts, properties, and legacy. I never wanted it. I had Sarah, 2 beautiful children. I'd built my own consulting firm, my own life. I thought that made me irrelevant to their ambitions. I was wrong. October 14th, 2003, the night that destroyed everything. My parents were found dead in their study. Carbon monoxide poisoning. The furnace had been tampered with. Investigators called it murder within hours. I was arrested before sunrise. The evidence against me was devastating. Airtight. Impossible. My fingerprints on the furnace valve. My jacket fibers at the crime scene. A forged insurance document naming me as sole beneficiary signed in what experts called a perfect match to my handwriting. I kept screaming that I wasn't there. I was in Boston with my family. I had alibis. I had proof. But my sisters, they were so convincing. Caroline took the stand first. Designer black dress, tears streaming down her face. She told the jury I'd been unstable for months, that I'd confronted our parents about being written out of the will, that I'd threatened them. Victoria corroborated everything, added details, dates, conversations that never happened. They destroyed me with surgical precision. The jury deliberated for 4 hours. Life without parole. Sarah filed for divorce within a year. She took the children, changed their names, and told me through her attorney that she couldn't let them grow up with a murderer's shadow. I thought I'd lost everything. I didn't know the worst was yet to come. Prison taught me patience. When you have 40 years of nothing but time, you learn to use every second. I studied law, wrongful convictions, evidence fabrication. I learned how wealth protects itself, how power buries truth. Then, in year 14, a letter arrived. No return address. Handwriting I barely recognized. It was from Marcus Chun, our family's estate manager for 30 years. He was dying, stage 4 cancer, and he couldn't take the guilt to his grave. The letter was 8 pages long, detailed, documented, devastating. Caroline and Victoria had paid him $75,000 to tamper with the furnace, to plant my fingerprints, to forge the insurance documents, to testify about my volatile behavior that never existed. He included proof, bank transfers, photos, time-stamped security footage my sisters thought they'd deleted forever. But there was more. Something that made my blood run cold. After my conviction, my sisters visited Sarah. Marcus was there. He heard everything. They told her that if she ever testified on my behalf, if she ever claimed I was innocent, if she ever let our children know the truth, accidents happen. Sarah didn't abandon me because she believed I was guilty. She ran because my sisters would have murdered her and our children. That's when everything crystallized. Staying in prison wasn't justice. It was letting them win. It was letting the truth die with Marcus. I had 15 months before Marcus's cancer would kill him. 15 months before the only witness to their conspiracy took the truth to his grave. The law had already chosen its story. Appeals were exhausted. Evidence was sealed. If I wanted justice, I'd have to escape and take it myself. 14 months of planning. Every guard rotation, every delivery schedule, every electrical pattern, every camera blind spot. I found my 60-second window during the Thursday night kitchen supply delivery. 2:47 a.m. Guard shift change overlapping with the security system diagnostic test. I killed the lights, slipped through the maintenance tunnel, disappeared into the night. I didn't run far. I went straight to Marcus. He died 3 days after I arrived at his hospice facility. But he'd prepared everything. Notarized confessions, digital evidence, a storage unit filled with documents my sisters thought they'd burned 13 years ago. As I held his hand while he took his last breath, he whispered, "Make them confess. Make everyone know." That's when I realized escaping wasn't enough. Caroline and Victoria had spent 13 years perfecting their lie. They were pillars of high society now, philanthropists, board members, the grieving daughters who'd overcome tragedy. But I had the truth, and I was going to make them destroy themselves with it. I didn't touch them. I didn't threaten them. I didn't commit a single crime. I just reminded them what they'd done, one anonymous package at a time. I sent Carolyn a copy of the bank transfer to Marcus. No note, just the evidence. 3 days later, I sent Victoria the security footage they'd deleted. The footage showing them entering our parents' estate the night of the murder. I watched from a distance as paranoia consumed them. Caroline started drinking heavily. Victoria hired private investigators to find me. They stopped appearing together in public. I sent the forged insurance documents to the original prosecutor. Marcus's deathbed confession to the judge who sentenced me. The tampered furnace schematics to the state attorney general. The investigation reopened within 2 weeks. DNA evidence was re-examined with modern technology. Their testimonies were deconstructed by forensic psychologists. The timeline they'd constructed fell apart completely. Caroline accused Victoria of talking. Victoria accused Caroline of keeping secrets. 40 years of sisterhood dissolved in 3 weeks of mutual suspicion. Arrest warrants were issued. And then came the twist I never saw coming. My children, now 23 and 21 years old, Sarah had died 2 years earlier. Before she passed, she told them everything. The threats, the truth, the reason she disappeared. They'd been watching Caroline and Victoria, too. The night before my sisters were set to be arrested, our family estate caught fire. The entire mansion, flames visible for miles. Both Caroline and Victoria died inside. The fire marshal ruled it arson immediately. Accelerant throughout the first floor. Every exit blocked from the outside. Deliberate, calculated, methodical. My son and daughter turned themselves in the next morning. They walked into the police station, calm and resolved, and confessed to everything. They said they couldn't let their aunts escape justice, couldn't let them hire expensive lawyers and buy their way out the way they bought my conviction 13 years ago. They said some debts can only be paid in full. I turned myself in the same day. The district attorney offered me a deal. Escaped prisoner who helped solve a 13-year-old double homicide. Time served. Supervised release. My children faced murder charges. But the evidence against Caroline and Victoria was overwhelming. Marcus's testimony, the planted evidence, the death threats against Sarah. The media called them heroes. The jury saw it as justice, not murder. They were sentenced to 10 years, eligible for parole in 7 with good behavior. I visit them every week. We're rebuilding what my sisters tried to erase. We talk about their mother, about the life we should have had, about the price of truth. I didn't escape prison to be free. I escaped to tell the truth the system buried. And now that truth belongs to everyone. The system didn't save me. I learned how to confront it without becoming what it protects against. Thanks for listening. Follow for more stories of justice, betrayal, and truth.